Okay, in this chapter, we are going to talk about developing the conclusion. We are going to talk about the functions of a conclusion, how to signal the close of your speech, how to summarize key points, reiterate the topic and purpose, challenge your audience to respond, and how to make your conclusion memorable. The first thing is the functions of the conclusion. So you want to signal the close of your speech. Some of you struggle with this. Some of you don't know how to say in conclusion, to sum things up, to wrap it up, here's what we've covered today. Those kind of things that you think sound cheesy or that you think are overused are definitely okay to use as long as you let us know that you are ending your speech, that you are at the end, and that if anything, we need to at least listen to your conclusion. You want to summarize your key points. So tell them what you're going to tell them in the introduction and tell them what you told them in the body. In the conclusion, I'm sorry. So that's what you're going to do. In the introduction, you're going to tell us, this is what I'm going to tell you about. And in the conclusion, you're going to tell us, this is what I told you about. You want to reiterate your thesis. So if your thesis is predisposed to the rest of your speech, then you can reword it in a way that kind of sums everything up. But if not, if it's just a regular thesis, then you can just restate the thesis. And then you want to challenge your audience to respond. So you want them to, you want to have some kind of call to action for them to do something with your speech. And then you want to end it memorably. You want them to remember what you talked about in your speech, even if the only thing they remember is your conclusion. Signal the close of your speech. So like I said already, just do this like you would in an essay. In an essay, most of the time when we're learning how to write in first or second grade, they tell us in conclusion is the proper way to end your speech. And that's okay. If you say in conclusion, that's okay. You can say in sum, finally, looking back, any of those things. Be creative, just like you would if you were writing an essay. And then once you've signaled, end it shortly after. Not abruptly, so don't say in conclusion, what we talked about today was why you should be pro-life. So have a great day. That's not a conclusion. So you want to really think about what you're going to say in your conclusion and write out your conclusion. Don't end abruptly, but end shortly after that. Sometimes students will say in conclusion, and then they'll go on to talk for another 10 minutes. So don't do that. Make sure that you end shortly after you say in conclusion. You want to summarize your key points. Tell them what you told them. Cover what you talked about in your speech, the main points, key points, whatever it is that you want your speech, what you want your audience to remember from your speech. You want to make a full circle so that your audience feels like they accomplished something in listening to your speech. Reiterate the topic and purpose. Imprint this into your audience memory so that they remember, 10 years down the road when they hear somebody talk about this brand of boots or this specific topic, something that you're passionate about, they're going to be like, oh, you know what? This one time I heard this person talk about it, and here's what they had to say. You're kind of shaping that idea in their head for them if they don't already have an idea, or they're changing your idea. Remind your audience of your purpose. So this is why I'm telling you this. I'm trying to persuade you to do such and such. And then whatever it is that you have common ground with them on, touch on that. So again, I think the book uses the example, somewhere in the book they use the example of and then allow your audience to determine how well they've comprehended your idea. So don't help them learn more about your topic than you should. So a good saying that someone taught me when I was taking this course, my instructor told me was, stop talking when there's still something left to say. So if there's still something left to say, there's still something left for them to hear or learn about, let them do it and challenge them to go out and do that. Challenge your audience to respond. So in an informative speech, you're going to ask your audience to use what they've learned in a way that benefits them. So in an informative speech, let's say that you're informing us how to make chicken tortilla soup. Then you are going to talk about how that can benefit us. Maybe that's your grandmother's favorite dish. So go home and make that for her. But in a persuasive speech, you're going to give us a call to action. You want us to do something with that information that you've taught us. What can we do with that information? Where can we go from here with the information that you've given us? So for example, if your speech is about donating blood, then you want us to go out and donate blood. You want us to go out and do something with that information. So you're going to say something to the effect of, I challenge you to save a life. Go out and sign up to donate blood today. Something in that effect. Be creative with your language. Use abstract and vivid imagery to make us want to go and do something with whatever it is that you've taught us. And how is it real to us, and how is it personally relevant? How is it relevant to me, someone who may have just regular old AB, whatever the blood type is, that's the normal, quote unquote, normal blood type. How is that relevant to me? Well, you have the majority of the blood type that other people have. So, and reinforce that to make us want to go out and do something with that information. Make your conclusion memorable. Use a quotation. So a good example of donating blood, which I don't think is a good topic. It's very overdone, and there's not really anything that you can teach us about that topic, but we're going to use it for the sake of an example. I had a student one time who showed, in her conclusion, showed a really short video of this person who had received someone, they had the rare type of blood, and someone donated blood and they were able to have a blood transfusion while they were on the operating table. And years down the road, they had kids and they had a family. And so she showed a really short video of this person saying thank you, to everybody that goes out and donates blood. As someone who had to receive a blood transfusion, I thank you. And that made it really memorable. I still remember that years down the road. I still remember that student's speech, but do something that's going to make us remember your speech. Tell us a story, pose a rhetorical question, and bring your speech full circle. So take us back and help us remember how you got to that point, so that we have a circle and we know what we learned in the process of your speech. If you have any questions, let me know. I know the conclusion PowerPoint is very short. The introduction and conclusion is very short because it's something that you've been doing for many years. You've been writing introductions and conclusions and essays, and you've given speeches before, so it's very simple. But if you are confused about a concept, or you still need help with making sure that you've made your speech come full circle or something like that, just let me know, and I would be happy to read over it and to help you in any way I can.